An elder, a veteran, and a hunter of the highest skill, Ahab the Yautja became the engineer's hunter. With a scarred and battered body, Ahab traveled through many worlds and participated in many hunts. The scars he wore proudly and the trophies he collected from the deadliest prey were a sign of his skill and ability to progress through the Yautja ranks. Rising to the position of elder, he set his eyes on the most dangerous hunt of all, an engineer. In the Cowsburel system, Ahab would be blinded while hunting a red four-armed beast. Ahab, during the hunt, was stabbed in the face, losing an eye and a jaw, and despite his wounds, Ahab would not be defeated, as his ability far exceeded the brutality of this creature, and he finally killed the beast by removing its vertebral column as a trophy. After killing the creature, the predator discovered in a cave system a collection of cave paintings almost identical to those Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway found on the Isle of Skye in Scotland, representing their greatest enemy, the engineers. 100 years into the future, Ahab's tribe were hunting on a distant jungle-like planet. While they were there, the tribe detected the USCSS Garyan and potentially signs of combat on board. Concluding their hunts on the planet, the tribe takes course towards the Garyan with the intention of continuing the hunt there. While aboard the Garyan, Ahab generates a hologram of the crew and their actions, showing Galgo pointing an engineer's rifle at Francis. Observing at the rifle and what it means sent Ahab into a wild frenzy, and he attempted to grab the hologram, lost in his excitement as he was one step closer to finding his greatest prey yet, an engineer. While locating Galgo through the ship, Ahab headed to the cargo hold, just before Galgo splits up from the Garyan fleeing the conflict. However, Galgo would be altered of Ahab's presence when the computer started to recognize his biological marking, tagging him as an intruder. Opting for reinforcements, Galgo wakes up two mercenaries from his hypersleep, two ex-Marines named Piper and Higgins. Piper was the first to come in contact with Ahab, attacking him with his electric baton. Recognizing the threat, Ahab simply shot him with his plasma caster, killing him instantly. Galgo and Higgins, noting that their comrade had fallen, attempted to set a trap for the intruder, heading to the airlock where they had last spotted Ahab. Galgo decided to betray his friend and locked him inside the ship's cargo room entrance and opened the airlock, flushing everything into the void, making him believe he had sent Higgins and the intruder into space. Ahab, being an ancient predator, however, was not an easy opponent to kill, and he was in fact on top of Galgo, jumping down and lunging on his human prey, capturing him with his net gun. Ready to accept death at the hands of this alien killer, Galgo had gone from accepting his death to being shocked and surprised as Ahab cut the net and released him, gripping the engineer's rifle, pushing Galgo aside and proceeding to show him the hologram of an engineer making a gesture that he wanted to find one. Making a deal, Galgo and Ahab departed to LV-223, taking Ahab to the last known location of the engineer whom Ahab had waited so long to hunt. While on LV-223, Galgo and Ahab travel through jungles and into caves, spending the night by a campfire created by Ahab's plasma caster. Continuing by daylight into the deep jungles in search of Ahab's prey, in a short time, the pair come face to face with an engineer in a stroke of luck. Ahab finally, after all the years that had passed, had finally found his ultimate prey. Galgo, with the intention to stay alive, fled running cowardly, leaving Ahab to face the humanoid monster alone. As strong and as skilled as Ahab was, the engineer easily overpowers him, breaking his arm and leg. Knowing that the battle was lost, Ahab started to retreat, attempting to go back to the ship. However, the enraged engineer was following his steps and was quickly approaching, trying to change the course of the battle with one last idea. Ahab surprised the engineer with a harpoon, managing to strike and impale the massive opponent in the chest, but surprisingly the engineer simply rips it out and goes over to Ahab to end the battle once and for all. However, Ahab was not alone, and Galgo came back shooting the engineer in the chest just a few seconds before he killed his former captor. The shot from the engineer's rifle that Galgo used hits his chest, causing enough damage that Ahab has time to activate his self-destruct device and escape. The device detonates and the resulting explosion blinds the pair momentarily, finally giving Ahab the victory over his longest and most revered prey, the engineer. Once the dust settled, Ahab started searching through the debris, and Galgo, now confused, thought Ahab had assumed that the engineer was still alive. But upon finding his body, he ripped his skull and spine, claiming his trophy and his triumph over the humanoid. Ahab was an honorable and extremely experienced Yautja hunter, also very determined. He formed a kind of friendship with the human Galgo. Though he initially used it only to track down the engineer he was looking for, the two regularly began to set aside their differences and work together. Although Galgo was still sure Ahab could kill him at any time he wanted, the two seemed to even be friends, as Ahab used to be paired with Galgo during tasks, and although he was friendly with other humans, he'd rather be next to Galgo. This could be due to Ahab's understanding of Galgo and the similar nature of the two. Upon meeting Eldon, a synthetic who had been infected with the black pathogen, Ahab accepted him as a brother of his tribe since he had been marked by another Yautja who was a member of Ahab's tribe. This predator appeared to have a sense of humor when seen laughing at an argument between Galgo and Eldon, and then after escaping from a living mountain. As an interesting fact, the predator Ahab was directly inspired by the character of Captain Ahab from Herman Melville's 1851 novel Moby Dick, in which Captain Ahab was hunting a big whale, just like Ahab hunted the engineer. Both Ahab also have facial scars.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment and give me your ideas about topics for new videos. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.